Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, live in the morning, 5 days a week, 7 a.m. Congratulations, you guys. You made it to another Friday. And instead of doing a flashback Friday today, I decided to go ahead and do a continuation of our topic of weather and the way it correlates with life. Listen in. All right, you guys. So, yesterday we talked about what happens when it rains, it pours, right? But now we're going to focus on the aftermath. Pretty much what happens next, right? If you had a father who was into soil and dirt and stuff like that, and always talking about cutting the grass and all this stuff, right? Well, we realize that after it rains, all right, before we know of a forecasted rain, they like to go ahead and go out and cut the grass, right? Before it rains, like, let me go ahead and get it out the way. Because what happens after the rain? The sun comes out, soaks up all that moisture, and now it's getting ready to start growing like crazy. But if I can go ahead and cut it right before that rain, it will last a little bit longer, and I won't have to cut it immediately once that sun comes out. If you are tending to your yard, aka your body, mind, and spirit, before the storm comes. When it leaves, you will not have to worry about attending to it as much as you need to. Let's put it in a scenario, why don't we? If I paid attention to all the signs that my body was giving me before the storm came, then after the storm has left and I'm ready to be built a little stronger now, I no longer have to worry about what was there before the storm because I'm already prepared after the storm. So, going back to a job scenario, right? Before it started raining, before your boss came into the office and cussed you up one side and down the other, right? You were already looking at other jobs. You were already preparing, getting proper training for a new career path, right? Came in like a thunderstorm. He said that you ain't never gonna be, and just all this other stuff, and that you cannot adequately do your job. And he's not firing you, but he's just saying he wish he would have hired somebody else, right? You're frustrated, you're furious, you have all these other things happening, your bills are piling up, you're worried. Let's be real, we're human. We're worried because maybe we dipped into our savings just one too many times, right? And then now, on the other end, right? You see a little bit of hope because someone replied back saying, hey, we would love to invite you to interview for this position, right? That's a burst of sunshine, a little bit of rainbow. Another job reaches out. The school that you apply to reaches out. And all these rainbows and clouds just moving away. The sun is coming and is building you up. It's making you stronger for your next step. But guess what? Because you preempted by doing all this in the back end, in the front end, I'm sorry, in the back end, you're able to see the seeds that you sowed start to blossom and grow. Now, let's say you did not start looking for jobs. You just went to work day in and day out, frustrated, angry, upset, calling out of work because you ain't dealing with the boss man today, right? He's like, I've had it, I'm done, right? Guess what? Stops raining. Maybe the boss got fired. Maybe he's on vacation. You're trying to find a job now. You're scurrying, you're hurrying, right? He has all this documentation on you that we all know is filled with lies. But you're doing 20 times more work trying to get to where you need to be because you didn't put that work in on the front end. Okay? Sometimes doing an extra little bit of prep work is not always a bad thing. It's more beneficial than we're led to believe. Let's look at it from a relationship point of view, okay? So, you are in a relationship. Everybody knows that a relationship should be built on a solid foundation, but for some reason you were tricked in this one. You thought that foundation was solid, but for some reason, you didn't see that there was a loose wooden board in the middle of the concrete. It's called a trap door if you watch a lot of movies. So you go and like, oh snap, hold up. When did the wood get inside the concrete, right? That can be lies. It could be manipulation. It could be, them refusing to give up one part of them, right? It could be several different things that you just simply didn't notice, right? You could say, oh yeah, no, she stopped doing that a long time ago. She don't talk to him no more. Well, he under another name now. It's Patricia. All right. Get into all this heated arguments. You're getting into the storm part of your relationship. You're bickering back and forth, and she telling you ain't no good, you'll never be no good, and all this stuff. Secretly doing the things that she's been doing with that wooden floorboard this whole time. You get to the end of it where you think you've really just reached it and had enough, right? Your foundation was not solid all the way through, but it was enough prep work to hold you down. Okay. Sometimes the foundations we build in our relationships isn't necessarily for the relationship, but it's necessary for us. So that meditation and prayer that you put on the front end of your relationship, you're able to regain and come back 10 times harder and pray and meditate 10 times harder. That safe haven of a nest egg that you set to the side allowed you to be able to move out because you needed to, right? The way that you were able to make sure that you had other arrangements made for just in case moments, you were able to not fully execute those. But had you not built a solid foundation, not only for the relationship, but for yourself, you would have been lost in the sauce, floating in the space, not sure which way is up, not knowing who or what a God is, or who you can go to call on for troubling times. See, the thing is, we want to put in the prep work ahead of time. We want to work in the relationship or the job, and we want to make sure we continue to work afterwards. We don't want to stay in heartbreak for too long. You got to live by my philosophy. If you haven't heard it before, today is the day you're going to hear it for the first time. I believe in giving myself a limited amount of time to process and grieve as much as I can. I shed as many tears, I scream, I fight, I do everything that I need to. And if that means calling out of work, guess who's calling out? Me. All right. Once you've gotten that all off of you, you got to end it. You got to pull yourself back up. The same way you were pushing yourself over the edge is the same way you got to grab yourself by the collar and say, hold on, homie, that's enough. Right? So now as you pull yourself back, let's get right onto the right track, okay? Let's start putting that prep work to use, okay? I don't know about you, but that thing that I enjoy is a nice marinated piece of meat, okay? Hey, you can marinate vegetables too. Just saying, they real good, all right? Marinated, you did that prep work. You've been rushing, not sure what you're going to eat. Guess what? Been marinating for you for 24 hours. And is ready for you to cook it and eat it and take the nourishments from it. You guys, you put in that prep work, you put in that leg work, you put in that the building of that foundation. You are ready to receive your reward. Use it properly, grow from it, and keep moving. If you don't learn from your past mistakes, then you're going to be in an endless cycle called insanity. I am here today to just simply notify you that insanity is not what we are called to be. We are called to be lifelong learners in order to make sure that we are getting to exactly where we need to be. If you don't learn from anything else today, know that you need to learn from your past, grow from it, and do better. Don't go backwards and keep doing the same thing. You can trust me. I've done it way too many times, and I am now fed up, and I am now moving on an upward path, making sure that I go back and ask all the proper questions at a job interview. I may ask all the proper questions in a relationship. I ask for every single detail that I can because now I know where my mistakes were, where my downfalls are, and how I will not get played again. You guys, my name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I will be talking with you all Monday morning. Have a great weekend.